1. Why sugar is so harmful. Many people consume sugar daily without fully understanding the harm it causes. While we're often told to avoid sugar for weight control, the issue goes far deeper than just gaining or losing pounds. Sugar acts more like a drug than a nutrient. It triggers powerful cravings and addictive behaviors, making it hard to stop even when you know it's harmful. This isn't just about self-control. It's a biological response. Sugar stimulates dopamine in the brain, the same chemical linked to addiction, which is why many people find themselves repeatedly reaching for sugary foods despite knowing the risks. But the real danger lies in how sugar disrupts your hormones, especially insulin. When you consume sugar regularly, your body produces more insulin to deal with the glucose in your bloodstream. Over time, your cells become less sensitive to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. This hormonal dysfunction leads to a cascade of health problems. It forces your body into fat storage mode, making it nearly impossible to burn stored fat. As a result, people with insulin resistance often feel constant hunger and intense cravings because their body can't access its own energy stores efficiently. This is why so many individuals struggle with weight gain, not because of how many calories they consume, but because insulin resistance locks their body in a state of fat storage. The elevated insulin levels prevent fat burning, trigger constant hunger, and promote overeating. And even more concerning, insulin resistance isn't just a weight issue. It is a major underlying factor in many chronic conditions, including type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and even some types of cancer. Additionally, insulin resistance causes widespread inflammation, which is now recognized as a root cause of many modern diseases. Sugar consumption fuels this inflammation, silently damaging blood vessels, organs, and cells throughout the body. Unlike what most people believe, calories are not the main issue. It's the quality and type of calories that matter most. Sugar calories are particularly damaging because they hijack your hormonal balance, ignite inflammation, and create metabolic chaos. So, when we talk about quitting sugar, we're not just talking about weight loss. We're talking about breaking free from a chemical that disrupts your body's ability to function properly. Reducing or eliminating sugar isn't simply a dietary choice. It's a critical step toward restoring your health at the hormonal, cellular, and metabolic levels. 2. Immediate health benefits. One of the first and most noticeable changes when you quit sugar is the improvement in oral health. Sugar doesn't just affect your waistline. It's also a primary culprit behind cavities, gum disease, and plaque buildup. When you consume sugar or refined carbs like white flour or rice, they quickly break down into glucose in your mouth. An enzyme called amylase, found in your saliva, begins this digestion process right away, feeding the harmful bacteria that live in your mouth. These bacteria thrive on sugar, especially sucrose, which is half glucose and half fructose. While your body doesn't produce enzymes in the mouth to break down sucrose, bacteria do. They use it to generate acid, which then erodes the enamel and causes tooth decay. Fructose, in particular, is more acidic, and the acid produced by these bacteria eats into your teeth like small drills, creating holes over time. Glucose, on the other hand, is sticky and contributes to the formation of plaque, a film of bacteria that clings to your teeth and makes them feel coated or dirty. If you've ever brushed your teeth and still felt like they weren't clean, sugar and refined carbs were likely to blame. But once you remove sugar and high-carb foods from your diet, you'll start to notice your teeth feel cleaner naturally, even when you haven't brushed yet. Another surprising benefit of quitting sugar is a reduced risk of gout, a painful condition caused by a buildup of uric acid in the joints. Fructose, found in sugar and many sweetened drinks, directly increases uric acid production. It also promotes insulin resistance and fatty liver, both of which contribute to higher uric acid levels. When uric acid accumulates, it forms sharp crystals that often lodge in the big toe joint, but they can form in any joint, causing intense pain. By eliminating sugar, you not only improve your dental health, but also reduce internal inflammation and metabolic stress. These changes happen relatively quickly, often within the first week or two of cutting sugar. You'll find your mouth feels fresher, your breath improves, and you may even experience less joint stiffness or discomfort due to the drop in inflammation and uric acid. Ultimately, Quitting sugar triggers a chain reaction of health benefits that extend far beyond what you can see in the mirror. It begins with your mouth, but the positive impact reaches into your joints, metabolism, and daily comfort. 3. Hormone and sleep improvements. When you stop consuming sugar, one of the most profound effects is the stabilization of your hormones, particularly insulin and cortisol. These two hormones play critical roles in how your body responds to stress, food, and energy demands. Insulin is responsible for regulating blood sugar levels, while cortisol is known as the stress hormone, released during times of physical or emotional pressure. Sugar consumption creates a roller coaster of blood sugar spikes and crashes. Every time your blood sugar rises rapidly from a sugary snack or meal, insulin is released to bring it down. But when this happens repeatedly, your body starts overproducing insulin, leading to insulin resistance, where your cells no longer respond properly. At the same time, sharp drops in blood sugar, especially after sugar highs, trigger the release of cortisol because your body perceives low blood sugar as a crisis that needs immediate correction. These constant hormonal fluctuations affect everything, from your energy levels to your mood, and especially your sleep. High cortisol levels interfere with the production of melatonin, your primary sleep hormone. That's why people who eat a lot of sugar often report poor sleep quality, frequent nighttime awakenings, or trouble falling asleep at all. When you cut sugar from your diet, your blood sugar levels begin to stabilize. This reduces the need for your body to constantly pump out insulin and cortisol. As a result, your stress response calms down, and your body begins to rebalance its entire hormonal system. The benefit? Deeper, more restorative sleep. Many people who quit sugar report sleeping through the night for the first time in years and waking up feeling more refreshed. Another often overlooked sleep disruptor linked to sugar is frequent urination at night. In individuals with high blood sugar, such as those with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, the kidneys try to eliminate excess glucose by excreting it through urine. This draws out water, leading to increased urination, especially at night. But once sugar is removed from your diet, blood sugar normalizes, reducing the load on your kidneys and helping you sleep more soundly without multiple bathroom trips. In the initial days of quitting sugar, you may urinate more frequently as your body flushes out glycogen and excess water, but this is a temporary phase. Afterward, your hormone balance, sleep patterns, and even your body's stress resilience all begin to improve, setting the stage for lasting health benefits from the inside out. 4. Brain function and mood stabilization. When you remove sugar from your diet, one of the most noticeable internal benefits occurs in your brain. Sugar and refined carbohydrates don't just affect your body. They significantly influence your mental clarity, emotional balance, and cognitive performance. This is primarily because sugar contributes to insulin resistance, even in the brain, which prevents glucose, the brain's primary fuel source, from getting where it's needed. With insulin resistance, your brain cells may struggle to access glucose efficiently. It's like having a full gas tank, but the fuel line is clogged. As a result, your brain may be underpowered, leading to mental fatigue, brain fog, and poor concentration. When sugar intake is high and inconsistent, blood sugar spikes and crashes become the norm. These fluctuations deprive your brain of steady energy supply, leaving you feeling drained, irritable, and unfocused. But when you quit sugar, you allow your blood sugar levels to stabilize. This creates a steady, reliable source of energy for your brain, which helps improve mental clarity, alertness, and memory. Over time, your brain begins to run more efficiently on a balanced fuel source, and you may find it easier to stay focused, productive, and calm throughout the day. Mood regulation also improves significantly. Sugar is known to worsen mood swings due to its disruptive effect on blood sugar and hormones. After eating sugar, you might feel temporarily uplifted, but that high is usually followed by a crash that leaves you feeling low, anxious, or even depressed. Repeating this cycle over time trains the brain to rely on sugar for emotional comfort, similar to how addictive substances work. By quitting sugar, you break this cycle. You no longer ride the emotional highs and lows tied to fluctuating glucose levels. Instead, your mood becomes more stable, balanced, and positive. Many people report experiencing less anxiety and fewer depressive symptoms after reducing their sugar intake. That's because stable blood sugar levels help regulate not only cortisol and insulin, but also neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, both of which influence how you feel day to day. Ultimately, quitting sugar enhances your brain's ability to function at its best. Whether it's better focus, clearer thinking, or improved emotional resilience, the mental transformation can be just as life-changing as a physical one. For those struggling with anxiety, depression, or poor concentration, removing sugar may be one of the most effective and underrated steps toward healing and stability. 5. Vision, kidney, and nerve protection. One of the most powerful and often overlooked benefits of quitting sugar is the protection it offers to your eyes, kidneys, and nerves. These vital systems are extremely vulnerable to damage caused by high blood sugar, especially when glucose levels remain elevated over time due to frequent sugar intake. Let's start with vision. High blood glucose is the leading cause of diabetic retinopathy, a condition where the delicate blood vessels in the back of the eye become damaged. The retina, the light-sensitive tissue responsible for processing visual information, is packed with tiny capillaries that are easily harmed by sugar. Chronically high sugar levels cause a condition known as microvascular damage, where these tiny vessels thicken, leak, and ultimately fail to deliver nutrients and oxygen efficiently. Sugar also promotes the formation of harmful compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These sticky molecules form when sugar interacts with proteins in the blood and tissues, causing inflammation, oxidative stress, and tissue breakdown. In the eyes, this accelerates the degeneration of the retina, leading to blurred vision, dark spots, and in severe cases, permanent blindness. But when you remove sugar from your diet, you slow down or even halt this process, reducing your risk of vision loss significantly. The same microvascular damage that harms the eyes also impacts your kidneys. The functional filtering units in your kidneys, called glomeruli, depend on healthy blood vessels to function properly. High blood sugar damages these vessels just like it does in the eyes, impairing the kidney's ability to filter waste from the bloodstream. Over time, this can lead to chronic kidney disease or even kidney failure. Additionally, your nerves, especially those in your hands and feet, are fed by tiny blood vessels, which are just as susceptible to sugar-related damage. When blood flow to these nerves is compromised, they become starved of oxygen and nutrients. This results in neuropathy, a painful and sometimes disabling condition marked by tingling, numbness, and burning sensations. If left unchecked, it can lead to loss of feeling in the extremities, increasing the risk of injuries, infections, and even amputation. By cutting sugar, you protect these essential systems at their most vulnerable points. You support healthy blood flow, prevent oxidative damage, and reduce inflammation that could otherwise lead to irreversible complications. In short, quitting sugar is one of the most protective things you can do for your long-term health, especially for your eyes, kidneys, and nerves. 6. Boosted immune system. When you eliminate sugar from your diet, one of the most significant internal transformations occurs in your immune system. While most people associate sugar with weight gain or energy crashes, its impact on immunity is equally, if not more, important. Sugar directly weakens your body's natural defense mechanisms, leaving you more vulnerable to infections, inflammation, and even chronic disease. One of the immune system's key tools is a process called phagocytosis, where white blood cells, especially neutrophils, which make up about 60% of your immune cells, engulf and destroy harmful invaders like bacteria, viruses, and toxins. When you consume sugar, this process slows down significantly. Even a small amount of sugar can impair white blood cell activity for several hours, making it harder for your body to fight off infections during that window. But it doesn't stop there. Sugar also contributes to oxidative stress, which occurs when there's an imbalance between free radicals' unstable molecules and your body's ability to neutralize them. This stress damages cells, including immune cells, and leads to chronic inflammation, which forces the immune system to stay in a constant state of overwork. Over time, this weakens your immune response and contributes to a wide range of inflammatory diseases. Another often overlooked issue is that sugar competes with essential nutrients, especially vitamin C, for cellular transport. Vitamin C plays a crucial role in immune defense, but both sugar and vitamin C use the same transport mechanism, GLUT1, to enter cells. When sugar is present in high amounts, it crowds out vitamin C, making it less available for immune functions like strengthening cell membranes and producing antibodies. Furthermore, sugar can disrupt your nutrient absorption in general. Your body relies on transporter molecules to move nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and amino acids from the digestive tract into your cells. When there's too much sugar in your system, these transporters become overwhelmed or inefficient, leading to hidden deficiencies even if you're eating healthy foods. If you ever notice that you tend to get a cold, flu, or sore throat after a period of overeating sugary foods, this is no coincidence. Sugar suppresses your immune system exactly when your body needs it the most. By quitting sugar, you give your immune system the relief it needs to function properly. You reduce chronic inflammation, improve nutrient delivery, and restore the power of your white blood cells. In the long term, this means fewer infections, faster healing, and a stronger defense against illness, all from simply cutting back on added sugar. 7. Reduce inflammation and chronic disease risk. When you stop eating sugar, you're not just avoiding empty calories. You're dismantling one of the root causes of chronic inflammation and long-term disease. Sugar doesn't just affect how you feel in the moment. It silently promotes internal damage at the cellular level that can accumulate over time and lead to serious health conditions. One of the most dangerous effects of sugar is its role in promoting insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. The liver is the only organ that can metabolize fructose, a major component of added sugars. When overloaded, the liver turns this fructose into fat, leading to fat buildup and eventually liver dysfunction. This condition often has no symptoms at first, but can progress into inflammation, scarring, and even liver failure. Quitting sugar also dramatically reduces arterial inflammation, which is one of the main contributors to heart disease. Most people think high cholesterol is the issue, but the real danger comes from oxidized LDL, low-density lipoprotein, particles, which become harmful only when they're damaged by inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which sugar contributes to. When inflammation is high, the inner lining of your blood vessels becomes vulnerable to plaque buildup, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. One of the most harmful byproducts of high sugar intake is the creation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These are toxic compounds that form when sugar molecules bind to proteins or fats in your body. AGEs interfere with cell function, accelerate aging, and increase the risk of chronic diseases, such as Alzheimer's, arthritis, and cardiovascular disease. The more sugar you consume, the more AGEs your body creates, literally speeding up the damage to your tissues and organs. By cutting out sugar, your body produces fewer AGEs, reduces oxidative stress, and stabilizes inflammatory responses. Additionally, you'll likely notice improvements in your cholesterol profile. While total cholesterol might not drop significantly, since cholesterol levels are also influenced by genetics, the quality improves. You get fewer small, dense LDL particles, the most dangerous kind, and more large, buoyant ones, which are less likely to cause damage. In summary, giving up sugar doesn't just make you feel better. It actively protects your organs, your arteries, and your long-term health. It lowers the risk of diabetes, heart disease, liver problems, and even early aging, making it one of the most impactful steps you can take for a healthier life. 8. Sustainable weight loss. One of the most rewarding outcomes of quitting sugar is the ability to finally achieve real, sustainable weight loss, not just a temporary kind you get from fad diets. When most people try to lose weight, they often rely on restrictive calorie cutting or short-term programs. These usually result in rapid weight loss during the first few days, but the majority of that weight is just water, not fat. Once the program ends, the weight often comes back just as quickly, sometimes even more than before. This is known as the yo-yo effect, and it happens because the root cause of the weight gain, hormonal imbalance, especially due to insulin, is never addressed. Sugar fuels insulin resistance, and insulin is the hormone responsible for fat storage. When insulin levels are constantly elevated, your body holds on to fat and blocks access to it as a fuel source. This leaves you feeling hungry, tired, and stuck in a cycle of cravings and overeating. By removing sugar from your diet, you directly reduce insulin spikes, which allows your body to unlock stored fat and use it for energy. This shift is profound. Instead of constantly needing snacks or meals to maintain energy, your body becomes more metabolically flexible, meaning it can switch between burning food and burning body fat more easily. Another huge benefit of quitting sugar is that it reprograms your hunger signals. Most people aren't overeating because they're truly hungry. They're eating in response to sugar-driven cravings and emotional triggers. Once those cravings disappear, you'll find that you're not thinking about food all the time. You begin to eat only when you're actually hungry, and when you do eat, you feel satisfied for longer. This naturally leads to fewer meals per day. In fact, many people who cut out sugar find themselves eating only twice a day without trying to follow any strict regimen. They no longer feel the urge to snack between meals, and their meals become focused on real, nourishing foods, not processed, high-carb snacks. Unlike short-term diets, this approach is about healing your metabolism and building new habits for the long term. You're not just losing weight. You're keeping it off because your body is no longer being hijacked by sugar and hormonal chaos. In short, quitting sugar turns weight loss from a frustrating struggle into a natural, effortless result of balanced hormones, reduced cravings, and real metabolic health. It's not just about getting slimmer. It's about regaining control over your appetite, your energy, and your body. 9. Improved taste and craving control. One of the most unexpected but delightful benefits of quitting sugar is a return of your natural taste sensitivity. When you eat sugar regularly, especially in processed forms, your taste buds become desensitized. Sugar is an incredibly concentrated and artificial form of sweetness, far beyond what we would naturally encounter in whole foods like fruits or vegetables. The more you consume it, the more your body adjusts to it, and over time, you need more sugar to get the same taste satisfaction. But once you stop eating sugar, your taste buds begin to reset. Foods that once seemed bland suddenly become rich with flavor. You start noticing the natural sweetness in things like berries, almonds, or even carrots. It's as if your senses have been turned back on. Your appreciation for subtle, real food flavors deepens, and meals become more enjoyable. Not because they're artificially sweet, but because your body is finally able to detect their real essence. This change is not just pleasurable, it's powerful. When your body no longer craves hypersweet, processed foods, you gain a new level of control over your appetite. One of the main reasons people fail to maintain healthy diets is because of intense, recurring cravings. These cravings are not true hunger. They're driven by sugar's effect on the brain, especially on dopamine and serotonin, the same brain chemicals involved in addiction and emotional regulation. By cutting sugar, you interrupt this cycle. Over time, those intense urges begin to fade away. What replaces them is a more stable, genuine sense of hunger. You'll start to eat because your body truly needs nourishment, not because you're riding a blood sugar roller coaster or seeking emotional comfort through food. Even more importantly, when those cravings disappear, so does the mental noise around food. You won't constantly be thinking about snacks, desserts, or needing something sweet after every meal. This quieting of the mind allows you to build a peaceful relationship with food, one that's rooted in balance, nourishment, and enjoyment, not addiction or guilt. In the end, quitting sugar isn't about deprivation. It's about rediscovering your taste, reconnecting with your true hunger, and freeing yourself from the grip of cravings. And once you experience how satisfying real food can be, you'll wonder why sugar ever held such power over you. 10. 30 Days Sugar-Free Challenge and Final Motivation. If you're serious about transforming your health, one of the most powerful steps you can take is to commit to a 30-day sugar-free challenge. This isn't just about saying no to obvious sugar like candy or soda. It means eliminating added sugars, white flour, and drastically reducing refined starches like bread, pasta, rice, and corn. The purpose of this challenge is to give your body a clean slate, a chance to reset your metabolism, hormones, taste buds, and mindset. You might wonder, do I really need to cut out all carbs? Not necessarily. Everyone responds differently. Some people may tolerate small amounts of bread or rice without triggering cravings, while others may find that even a small bite sets off intense urges for more sugary or processed foods. This challenge is about learning how your own body reacts and recognizing which foods support your long-term health and which ones sabotage it. Once you begin the sugar-free journey, you'll quickly notice that real hunger returns and cravings fade. Instead of obsessing over snacks or desserts, You'll feel genuinely satisfied after balanced meals. Many people find they naturally eat less, often just 2 meals per day, without trying to restrict themselves. Your energy becomes more stable, and food becomes a source of nourishment, not emotional escape. What makes this challenge even more powerful is the impact you can have on others. By publicly committing to 30 days without sugar and sharing your results, whether in a comment section or with friends, you inspire others to believe in change. Your story becomes motivation for someone else who's struggling with the same habits. And the more people take part, the more lives can be transformed. Beyond the physical benefits like better sleep, weight loss, clearer skin, and improved digestion, one of the most profound changes happens on a sensory and emotional level. Your taste buds come alive again. You begin to notice the subtle sweetness of foods that once seemed plain. Natural flavors become more vibrant, and the emotional grip sugar once had on you begins to break. You feel freer, more in control, and more aligned with your body's true needs. Most importantly, this challenge isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. If you slip up, you learn from it, not judge yourself. The goal is progress, not perfection. By the end of 30 days, you won't just have better health. You'll have a deeper connection with your body, a stronger will, and a more joyful relationship with food.